Hey guys, it's the 99123pod. I'm your host Claire.
And I'm Libby.
So today this podcast is very special because this is our first ever English podcast. And a little bit background info. I'm Claire. I'm 24 years old and currently single because of the topic we're going to talk about later.
And she's in Hsinchu,
Taiwan
right now.
Yeah, I'm in Taiwan right now.
And I'm in New York. I'm also 24. Our birthday is 10 days apart. And I'm currently single too, actively dating.
Same.
Yeah. So we want to talk about long distance and how it did not work for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And what we currently think about it and will we still do it. So for me, I went through an almost 3-year long-term long-distance relationship.
Damn, so long.
I'm in New York. I know. I'm in New York. He's in Taiwan. So how it happened is I go back to Taiwan like twice a year during school. So like winter and summer vacation. And there's this particular year, freshman year, summer, I went back home. I never download apps when I go back home because I'm only there for short term and I've always been looking for a long-term relationship, so I thought there's no point. But I still met this person, my ex, in my gym. He's a personal trainer there, and we clicked right away. We started dating right away, and then like less than a month after like being official, I came back to New York for school. We ended like around end of my junior year of college because our future don't align.
Do you want to share like why you guys broke up? Like what was the main reason why?
Okay, I don't think it's about compatibility. I think we're pretty compatible people. I'm the more dominant in the relationship and he's more like going with the flow and okay with anything. So I don't think we're both very supportive of each other. So I don't think that's the main problem. I think it's we don't have the same end goal.
Yeah. Easily put, you wanted to stay in New York, he wanted to stay in Taiwan.
Yeah, so originally we were like, oh, let's just have fun and enjoy each other while we can and not think about the things that we can't change at the moment, which is our physical like location. We thought like, oh, I have to stay here for 4 years and you have to work at your place. So it's not that we're not willing to change for each other, it's just we can't at the moment.
Circumstances.
He was trying to come, he was trying to come here, but he was saving money and improving his English, but it just didn't work out. And at first we put this problem aside and didn't want to think about it, but towards the end we have to face it because I'm graduating in a year. I have to think about where I'm gonna work and I refuse to go back home because there's no work-life balance and the pay is bad.
True. Sad designer here.
So yeah, it did not work out.
Yeah, but I really liked him. Like, I hung out with him a few times, and I really think he's super nice. He's, like, easy to talk to. Very generous, I guess.
And he doesn't complain. That's the biggest thing I learned from her. I still do, but for him, it's like complaining is useless. Just do it.
I remember you told me, like, his phone's, like, what do you call that? Screensaver?
Lock screen.
Yeah, lock screen was 0% complaining. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still learning that till this day, but... definitely, like, he's a great person and I'm happy for him. We still follow each other on Instagram. We're friendly, but we don't really talk.
I'm also following him on Instagram for some reason.
A lot of my friends, my sister, my brother, they're still following him. I'm happy for him.
But he did visit you in New York.
Yeah, so we both put in effort in this long distance relationship. I visit home like twice a year. He came here once to see like how my life is and just be with me. For like 2 weeks.
With your brother?
Yeah, my brother also came.
Yeah, it was cute.
Good memories.
Yeah, it's just... I remember you had a vlog.
Yeah, I took it down.
Oh, you took it down? Oh, damn.
I took it down.
Okay. But, like, I think what most people say about long-distance relationships is that if you don't have the same end goal or if your futures don't align, it's not going to work out well. So, a lot of my friends, like, who... are in relationships in Taiwan, some people tell me that one of the person in the relationship is studying abroad. Some people might just like have a pre-breakup. They wouldn't even try a long distance. They would break up before going abroad. Like, I think from statistics, everyone knows it's not a good idea if one stays in Taiwan and the other goes abroad because like the person who studies abroad is definitely gonna be like overwhelmed by new experiences, and I think it's very natural to want to meet new people in some way. If you're not committed enough, I think it's a very big 诱因.
Temptation.
Yeah, temptation.
For me at that moment, during that relationship, I never for a single second thought about dating here. It was my first long-term relationship. I was very loyal, very committed. Not even the physical part tempted me.
Well, you still are loyal. You say it like you're not anymore. No, I get what you mean. Okay, so bring up loyalty and like temptations and stuff. I think I can share my long distance relationship story. So where do I start?
How you met.
Okay, so
let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah, so my relationship was quite different from Libby's. And I don't think, like, when people listen to this story, they're like, this is kind of crazy, or like not normal, very not common, I guess. So anyways, he was traveling around the world. He's from the States. And then when he was in Taiwan, we met. For me, I think the first day I just wanted a casual like meet up with someone new and like to talk about stuff, especially since he's from the States. I think it would bring more like interesting perspectives to me because I'm in Taiwan.
Different background.
Yeah, so like I thought it would be interesting and like we could have a good dinner, stuff like that. But then it turned out into him being very into me. And I don't know how to like phrase it humbly, but like that's how he acted. At that point, I was like, I think you're a cool person. Maybe we can keep contacting each other. Like he went to Korea. His next stop was Korea. And coincidentally, I was going to Korea in a month. So he decided to wait for me until I got to Korea. So when we were in Korea together, we traveled because my friend was busy with her thesis. So most of the time I stayed with him. And then during that time, we got together. And then after the Korea trip, I came back to Taiwan. And he also came back to Taiwan. And he stayed in Taipei for 2 months. Almost 2 months, but eventually he moved back to the States. So that was when we started our long distance relationship. In the beginning, he was actually in the West Coast. So it was like a 16 hour time difference because there was like daylight savings. It was bad. I don't like 16-hour time differences.
Well, what is that like?
It's like,
so when you're up at like
it's like when I'm working in the afternoon, he's going to sleep, I think.
Oh, so you basically have no time when you're both not tired to have quality time.
Yeah, I think whether it's a 16-hour time difference or a 12-hour time distance, both people are going to be tired. One of us are going to be tired. Like, I'm going to start my day and he's going to end his day. Or he's going to start his day and I'm going to end my day. So I think that's the biggest problem with long distance. But anyways, he moved to the East Coast later on. So it turned into like a 13-hour difference. And I think it's better because that's the time difference me and Libby have. And I personally think it's doable. Anyways, during that time, we had a lot of fights, mainly because of long distance. Because in that specific relationship, I was more avoidant attachment style. And he was more anxious attachment style. I think maybe originally both of us are secure attachment styles, but like for some reason when we got together it turned us into a different type. So anxious attachment styles just portrays as someone who worries more and like is more anxious towards the relationship, and that he needs to have more words of affirmation or we have to communicate more. And but like the opposite is avoidant. So avoidant is, for me, I didn't want to talk about a lot of things sometimes because sometimes I would feel like, well, I don't think talking about this over a phone call is going to make things better. And honestly, sometimes rather than talking about it, let's just let it pass. So that's what I did in that specific relationship. But I think it also depends on what the topic we were fighting about, though.
So is there any reason that you want to put off some problems at the moment? Do you think it's better to solve it when you're physically together, or it's better to...
I think at that time, saying this may sound kind of a little bit selfish, but I personally thought that those problems were his personal problems rather than couple problems. So I think my philosophy is like both people need time and space to work on themselves rather than making every problem a couple problem or our problem. I think for some situations, having the mentality of saying that this is our problem, we are a team, we're a couple, we should face these things together, I think that's definitely healthy, and I definitely do that. But like when it comes to some aspects which I'm not going to share for the other person's privacy, I'm at that point I thought it was his own problems, not my problems. So I became very avoidant. But those problems actually caused a lot of fights during us being long distance.
So like two healthy people entering the relationship might manage a long distance better. But honestly, there's no like...
Yeah, I don't think we can define what healthy is, especially if we're all in our 20s. We have a lot of like space to grow, and I'm not as... I wouldn't be harsh towards anyone who's still alive because we're all figuring out stuff. This is our first time doing everything, so I don't want to blame anyone for not being healthy or being anxious or being avoidant. I think it's okay, but as long as both parties are committed and honest, I think that's the two main things I look for in a relationship. But okay, end of the story of this long distance relationship. He cheated, and how I found out was after he broke up with me. One of my friends in New York like texted me, and she was like, "Hey girl, is this your ex? I saw him on Hinge." And I was like, "Damn, what day? What was the date?" And then I went through some like calculations and stuff, and I'm like, wow, that was like right before we broke up. Yeah. I think the main
basically he couldn't wait until telling you. He decided. Was he looking for like a backup so it would be less hard?
No, he admitted that. He admitted that to me. I asked him like, why would you do this? And like, did you do this? And then he was like, yeah, because I wanted to break up with you already because I can't stand like long distance and stuff like that. So I knew I would be lonely once I broke up with you. So that's why I was on Hinge finding someone.
That's so disrespectful.
I know.
Both sides. For you and for whatever girl he's seeing.
Yeah. So I was like, so you're just going to torture another girl. You just finished torturing me and then you're going to torture someone else? Anyways, this podcast is not about this. But like, anyways, that was how it ended. And for me personally, I think one thing that I hated doing during the long distance relationship was not having physical touch, especially when we were having fights. I think everything is so much easier to solve when both people are holding hands, or like there's a hug, or we're lying together in bed, or sitting together in the couch and like talking about serious things just seems so much easier.
Actual eye contact.
Yeah. I think like through the screen, you don't even know where he's looking at sometimes. Like, because I might be looking at the screen, but the camera is here. So basically I'm looking down. You know?
Honestly, when I FaceTime other people, I look at myself a lot.
I do that too.
But not having physical touch, for me, like I trusted him entirely. But because his job is a personal trainer, I would be like, oh, how many women do you touch? Like, or not like touch. I didn't use the word touch. But how many women did you teach today? Did you touch her? Wait. I know I trust him like entirely, but somehow I just have to, like, it's toxic. It's very toxic.
But you're saying that because of long distance and not having physical touch, it kind of like pushes out your a little bit toxic side that wants to ask these type of questions.
Yeah.
I think another thing for me during that relationship was that how do you value, or like how do you see the opportunity of seeing each other? Do you see it as an opportunity to fix problems in person, or do you see it as like a very, very special time for us to have good like fun or like quality time? Like, so there was this scenario where I visited my family in the States and he also came along. So that was, we had a chance to like have fun together. But for him, he wanted to solve a lot of our problems in person because he knew that I'd be avoidant through phone call and physical touch helps me a lot. So that's why he wanted to fix problems in person, which I get. It sounds kind of understandable, but like honestly, it kind of ruined our trip because he kept bringing up problems. And I honestly think that this is such a special week for us as a long distance couple. We should just cherish the time together. But I think both sides are understandable.
What if there's just no problems and we can just have happy time together?
That should be the scenario. That's like the best scenario, but for some reason he thinks we have a lot of problems. And I think maybe because he wants our relationship to be perfect. So he wanted to fix all the problems, but
so he had a lot of expectation on how you should act. That's me.
Oh, that's you?
We are very opposite people.
Yeah.
Me and Claire, so I understand my partner through her and she understands her partner through me.
I don't think I'm wrong. I think maybe if you want to like give it a conclusion is that we're more go with the flow type and you're more you want to solve the problem right away.
I think so. My problem that I'm working on is that I keep having unrealistic expectations or like uncommunicated expectations on how things should be, like spend more time with me and blah blah blah. But it's better to look on what your partner has done, what your partner has put in the relationship already, and cherish that part and appreciate that part more. And you will be more thankful and happier because you look on what you have instead of what you don't have. And if you keep focusing on what you don't have and what you think the other partners should do, you're just gonna be unhappy. Like, when is the day that it's gonna end? Like, you're gonna want more and more and more, and it's just
At some point of my long distance relationship, my ex and Libby talked to each other.
We met up for lunch.
They would talk about like relationships problems together. But anyways, Libby would remind my ex to be more present or like to focus on the good things rather than have unrealistic expectations in our relationship. But honestly, I don't think it helped that much.
You can't change a people like that. They're people are stubborn.
Yeah, so like I think for your long-term relationship, you guys were more compatible, but me and my ex were probably not as compatible, and like adding long distance onto that just makes it worse, especially if we don't have a very deep foundation before we got into like long distance.
Yeah.
So do you still think there's like perks or like pros doing a long distance relationship?
I think the cons are definitely much bigger. I comforted myself by thinking about the good parts of it, which is we can focus on our personal projects without distraction. So at that time, I was starting my thesis project, and we would talk like an hour a day while doing our own stuff. So it was like no distraction. I don't have to think about date. I don't have to think about putting on like perfect makeup or like to go out every week. Would I choose having long distance over focusing on myself? No. I think it's still manageable to focus on yourself and be in a short distance relationship. I didn't need long distance to focus on myself, but it helped.
I actually like that aspect of long distance. Like, because like this is where me and Libby are very different. I'm the type that needs more me time, and I'd rather my partner not bother me that much. So doing long distance means that when he's asleep, I can work on my stuff. And like when we overlap a little bit of our waking times, we can talk. And then when I go to sleep, he can work on his stuff. I think it's a good way to motivate each other so that, you know, at the end of the day or like at the beginning of this day, you get like a boost of motivation from your partner. and it's very high quality time. I mean, compared to like both people having stuff on their brains and thinking about other things while calling each other. I don't know, maybe I'm just like beautifying this whole situation, but like at that point I was like, well, at least I can work on my stuff.
Yeah, that's what was going through my head too. I was like, at least I have this done.
Yeah, but like you said, the cons are definitely more than the pros.
To me, after that relationship, I was like, no more long distance. I don't think it's enough quality, like the quality time, physical touch, everything just doesn't satisfy me. I don't consider it relationship if I have to lose so many things. That it was what I was thinking at that, like when it ended.
Sorry guys, my camera died, so I'm using my phone right now to film.
Yeah.
So do you think you would you be open to do long distance in the future again?
So when I first ended my relationship, I was like, fuck no, I'm not gonna do it anymore. The satisfaction it brought me wasn't enough for me. Like, for it to qualify as a relationship, I want to eat food together. I want to travel together more often and stuff. So like, I was like, no. But like now that I really think about it after our discussion, I think if we have a strong enough foundation, I would do it. If we had like a foundation physically together and like one person has to go somewhere for work or for school, like for a while, I think I would still do it.
For me, I wouldn't really mind if there's not enough deep foundation. I think the reason why is because compared to you, I don't really have to date to marry. Like, it would be nice if we get married someday, but honestly, for my own personal like life purpose, I don't really need to get married. Like, if I don't get married, it's fine. I just go with the flow. So like, I think for me, my standards are as long as I can see this person being my life for the next 5 years and he's gonna bring me happiness, we're gonna improve together, we're gonna grow together, I would be willing to do long distance, but under one circumstance. The one circumstance is that the long distance is less than 2 years.
2 years. For me, I'm always date to marry. With my ex, I was like, I'm gonna marry him, but we just didn't think about the realistic stuff. I thought like he would eventually just come here, but it's not as easy as you think. But for me, I don't have a timeline for myself, but I definitely want to get married. I definitely want at least 2 kids. That's like my personal life goal. If we have a strong enough foundation, we have the same goal in the future for family, I wouldn't mind doing long distance. I think if it's part of it, then we can go through it together. Long distance, there's always only one problem, which is not being able to see each other. But if it's physically together, there's more details, like seeing his friends or like...
I think since I value very deep connection a lot with people, I think everything else, like such as if he doesn't like to eat a certain thing, I love eating a certain thing, it would be a little bit sad, but like as long as our base is that I love this person as a person, I love his personality, I love his philosophy, I love his values towards life, maybe like the physical stuff isn't that important, but honestly I would say that it's a bummer. It's a bummer. And like as long as our souls are like connected, we're together, I'm committed, you're committed, we're both loyal and honest, I think that's enough to be a relationship. So going back to my relationship with that ex, at that time, because it was gonna take me 5 to 6 months to move to his city, and he thought it was very torturing and hard, I even suggested that maybe let's do no contact for like the 5 or 6 months until I get there, and then we can be happily together again in person. For me, that just means that we're pausing our relationship, but it doesn't mean we're breaking up. It doesn't mean you can go see other people. It just means that you're still on my mind, you're still in my heart. It's just that because talking to each other every day just makes it harder, and it's harder for us to prioritize our own personal things and like work on our own stuff. So might as well just not talk and just focus on building our own things, and then Like after a few months we can get back together. But right after I suggested that, I was like, oh, probably not. And he was like, no, let's not do that. So I think it's hard. I'm just saying that there's still a little bit possibility I will be able to accept that. But honestly, like if you had to choose, I definitely wouldn't choose that. I would love to have dinner with the same person every single day and like do chores together and like do stupid like little things together. Like why would I choose to not be physically in person with someone?
So yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I first ended my long distance relationship. I think without all these mundane things in life, it doesn't mean relationship to me. Like it's not enough. I think a relationship should constitute of a base, trust, commitment, knowing the person, trusting the person, and all the daily things.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I don't want to do long distance anymore. But if I know a person well and I spend some time with them, that's when I think it's okay to enter into a short-term long distance relationship.
I get what you mean. I remember this time where Libby suddenly realized I don't like caramel. And it was like last year or this year. And she was like, you don't like caramel? And I was like, how would you not know I don't like caramel? And then she was like,
I'm so surprised by this fact right now. I still forget.
Why do you always forget things? I'm the one who always remembers our conversations.
No. Hey, no. It's because she hates a lot of food.
Well, yeah,
like
I'm
taro,
picky.
like what's the only thing that I hate?
The only thing that you hate.
Wait, is it hard?
Carrots.
Yes.
I know you don't like carrots. But I mean, like, that was the epiphany moment where you were like, this is what you miss out during long distance. You don't know the small nitty-gritty things because, like, who would just talk about, like, oh my god, I hate caramel all the time? Yeah, you wouldn't know that unless you went to Starbucks with me, unless you went to a cafe with me. Yeah. And then that was when I was like, oh yeah, this actually does affect, like, how much you know someone, especially since I'm so picky. Like, I remember when I was with my ex, and then my family and him and us, like, we went out to dinner, and then he was asking me, like, oh, what do you want to eat on the menu and stuff like that. And then I kept saying, like, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then my cousin's boyfriend, when he got back home, he was talking to my cousin, and he was like, how does he not know what Claire doesn't like? And then my cousin was like, but they're doing long distance. They don't have a lot of restaurant dates. How would he know? So, like, it's just a shame. Unless, like, I hand out a list to every single person around me. These are the things I don't like to eat.
That's not how you, like,
yeah,
build relationship, I feel. So
what if, like, after long distance and you move in or, like, finally be in the same sitting with someone, and then you just realize he has a lot of, like, weird habits that gives you the ick?
Actually, when I was in my long distance relationship, when I first, like, so we were apart for like 4 months, 4 semester, and then I went back home. The first time I saw him in person, I couldn't, I recognized it's him, but he doesn't look like him.
No, like, I remember the exact words you told me. You were like, he doesn't look like my boyfriend. Like, is he my boyfriend? Like, this person is my boyfriend?
He's just different from what he looks like on FaceTime. I'm so used to a FaceTime.
Yeah, no, I get that.
It's kind of crazy, but
yeah, I remember, and like, there's this teeny tiny bit of awkwardness when you see each other, like, finally, because I think for both of us, those long distance relationships didn't have a very, very deep foundation, so it's a little bit different. Like, when you see me, do you think I look different?
No, I'm so used to you.
Yeah, see? So, like, even though if we just keep FaceTiming, like, when you see me in person, you don't feel that awkwardness. And it's based on because we have a very deep foundation. But, like, with those two exes, we didn't have that. So, I don't know. I just feel single right now.
I mean, it's a weird time for you because you're coming to the States in like 2 months, 3 months.
No. I'm going in.
It's already May. It's already May.
Damn. Yeah, I'm going to New York in 3.5 months, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like a weird transition time where you're like leaving a place. You're not sure if I should.
Yeah, I mean, this might be TMI, but I'm okay with sharing this. So, like, I downloaded Bumble and Hinge. I set my location to near my school in New York. And like people are like, wait, you're not in New York yet? Then why are you on a Hinge so early? I'm like, well, this is a good way for me to screen out people who are like in a rush. I don't want people to be in a rush and like make everything physical or like too short term or casual and stuff like that. So like it's a good way for me to screen out people. And like, but still for Bumble, I just set my location in Taiwan. Well, I don't think you can set locations in Bumble.
I don't know. I've never used Bumble like long term.
You never used Bumble?
I used it, but I never used it. I hate Bumble's design.
Yeah, true. Hinge has the best UX design. Anyways, so like people in Taiwan, when they meet me, they're like, oh my God, you're going to the States? Like when? So soon. And like, I feel bad for both sides.
To be honest, I was confused at first when you download it. Like I totally get the part that you feel you want to hang out with cool people and like get to know people. But
Yeah.
I didn't know what your goal was.
Yeah, I think I don't really have a goal. I'm just trying to like get to know people more. Like because like we said, like both of these long distance relationships for us, we got into them pretty soon and pretty fast.
Yeah.
So like right now I'm just trying to like not think much about what my intentions are on dating apps. I'm just like trying to get to know people more. And I think right now there are some like people that are quite nice to me. They're like, oh, it's fine if you're not in New York yet. We can just like just be platonic and like talk on apps or like talk through Instagram and stuff like that. I think it's more like friendships at first, which I think is a healthier way to like get into relationships or like see where it goes rather than meeting up soon. Because for some reason, I don't know why, guys, they tend to like have a little bit physical touch, like even on first dates. Like they probably put their hand on your back, their hand on your shoulder, and I'm like, wait, dude, we should be friends first. Why are you touching me?
It do be like that. I mean, if you enjoy that, it will be fun. It will be nice.
I think it depends on the person for me.
Dating pool in New York is broken.
Yeah, I've heard way too many stories and I'm scared. I'm nervous. That's why I think that's probably why like initially I downloaded Hinge and put my location in New York, because I was so scared of like meeting people that were like in a rush or like would be super fast on like the tempo and stuff like that. I'm scared to meet people who are like that. So I'd rather like
Filter them out.
yeah, and know people longer, like know them at least online for like 3 months and then see them in person. Anyways, even though both of our long distance relationships did not work out in the past, we're still kind of like open to long distance relationships in the future. Preferably not happening is the best situation.
I think through that we realized like what's important for us, like how important physical touch is for us, what part do we value most about our relationship. I think it's a good learning experience. Like we definitely have a better mindset of what's important to us. But I mean, like, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so that's it for today's podcast. If you guys found this podcast interesting, leave a comment below or tell us what your thoughts are on this topic. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify, Instagram, and all those things. And tell us what you guys want to hear us discuss about in future episodes.
Okay, and that's it for today. Bye.
Bye, Pooh.